Well, good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Chamber Chat. I'm your host, Colin Diaz, President and CEO of the Culver City Chamber. And I am joined today by Tiffany Miller, who is with West LA College. As you guys all know, West LA College has been in Culver City, just celebrated their 50th anniversary last year. They've been a longtime partner in the community, in the business community, as well as with Culver City Unified School District. Tiffany is rather new to the area, though she's been in her line of work for a number of years. So with that, I'd like to welcome Tiffany, and please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role with West LA College.
Thank you, Colin. So like you said, my name is Tiffany Miller, and I'm the newly hired Dean of Apprenticeships at West LA College. Apprenticeship is kind of a fancy word that's been thrown around in industry for many, many years. In today's context, and when I'm using it, when I say apprenticeship, I mean a structured employee development program. And when I say structured employee development program, I mean, how are you helping your employees succeed and investing in them to be the best employee that they can be? It could mean that you're hiring new talent that needs a little bit of training to get up to speed with where you hope all employees in that level are. It could mean investing in a current level of employees to help them move up to the next level so they can advance within your company. It's completely customized by the employer, and it's completely dependent on what the employer's needs are. Now,
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, when you and I spoke about this before, that was one of the things that stood out to me, is the customization and fitting the needs of the employer. So if you don't mind, walk us through, what does that look like? Is it, you mentioned it could be for new hires, it could be for people that are currently there, but there's maybe a gap in training. How does West LA College come in to meet that need?
Yeah, so it could be anything that the employer needs. So I'm coming from West LA. Previously to this role, I was actually at another community college doing the same thing. So I've been doing this for many, many years. So I can say with confidence, there's not a one size fits all. It has to be dependent on what the employer needs. So for example, the benefit of working with a community college is we have access to thousands and thousands of untapped talent. So these are students that have been taking industry-specific courses that are prepared to go into industry with a wide range of experiences. So businesses can tap into the community college to hire this talent pipeline to develop a structured talent pool into your company. So that could mean, depending on the size of your company, depending on what your hiring needs are, do you need to hire students from a business class? Do you project hiring 3 to 5 business majors once a year? Are you looking for students with mechanical aptitude and you're on a fast track hiring and you need to hire 3 to 5 technicians every quarter? Is your company, a little bit less predictable and you're not sure when you need talent, but when you do, you want to know that you have qualified candidates ready to go at the drop of an email? That's where the community college can come in with helping students funnel into businesses. The other way is if you hire someone that shows good promise or has a lot of the skills you're looking for, but not quite all the skills you're looking for, you can hire them on, and then while they're working for you, part-time or full-time, they could be taking classes at West LA College or any community college that's close to you or has the skill set you're looking for to upskill them. So what I mean by that is, perhaps you've hired a machinist and they're doing great, but you really want to promote them from machinist level 1 to machinist level 2. But in order to do that, they need a CNC milling course. So while they're working for you full time, they can be enrolled at the college in a milling course, upskill them, and then all of a sudden they're able to do way more in their position or be eligible for a promotion. Or perhaps you want someone who's working for you to be a manager, but you have a minimum qual of a college certificate or an associate's degree or an industry credential. That's also where the community college can step in and help.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So if I heard you correctly, it sounds like it's not necessarily a menu that you go to businesses with. It's more of a conversation you have about the goals that they're trying to achieve and where they're trying to move employees and growth opportunities. And then from there, you're pairing it with resources that the college has. Is that fairly accurate?
Yes, that's exactly right. So that's sometimes people ask me, it's like, well, what do you do? Like, do you have like a one pager I can give to companies? And I have to tell them, we do have some examples of things that we've done, and we do have mechanisms that we can help businesses, such as college internships where a student can intern at your company and receive college credit. We can do pre-apprenticeship, apprenticeship. Of course, we can help companies hire students full time, but it's not a one size fits all. It has to be customized by the employer based on what their needs are. So one technology company may want to hire students from certain classes while another one's looking to hire students from other classes. So it's completely dependent on what the company needs are, and then how the college can step in and help meet those needs. And if we can't, how can we connect you with resources that can? So what's good about partnering with a community college is we actually have a lot of resources from both the Chancellor's Office and from the Department of Labor. These are grants that are designed to have community colleges work with employers and businesses to offset their training costs, whether that's at the college, by having students taking these classes first and then get hired by the company, or having employees that are already hired taking more classes at the college. Or there's also a third option. Perhaps the college doesn't meet your training needs and you want to do your own training internally. The college can potentially have some money to offset some of those costs.
Wow. So you must have been reading my mind, because I had my employer business owner hat on, and my question was, okay, this sounds great. How much is it, and how do we fund it? So that makes a lot of sense. If there is a specific, what are, is there a particular industry that you all work with, or are there limitations there? What does that look like?
Well, we would never turn a business away. So if you are interested in anything that I mentioned, please, it's definitely worth the conversation, and we could see what resources we can bring to the table. There are some sectors right now that are funded by certain grants that West LA College has. And so for sure, those sectors are manufacturing, any type of manufacturing, and any job within manufacturing, not just people that are manufacturing things in those occupations, but it could be a janitor for a manufacturing company, an HR specialist for a manufacturing company, any position that's within that sector, technology and IT, and bioscience, biotechnology. So for sure, all of those industries right now are funded by different grants that West LA College has to offset some of their training costs in any of those examples that I mentioned. But if you are a business that's not in one of those sectors, we absolutely should still talk, because there might be a way to leverage other resources, and or knowing what your needs are, the college could then apply for more funding based on those sectors in the future.
That makes sense. So, I mean, the college has been, as I mentioned earlier, a long-time partner and friend in the community. In fact, West LA College and the Chamber and the City Center for Nonprofit Management and the Exchange Club have partnered for 2 years to form something called Leadership Culver City. And one of the great things about it is each month there's a different segment. So, there's civic, that's 1 month. There's business and economic development. There's education and workforce development. And the workforce development piece is always somewhat of a nuanced one, because it looks different in every company. And I know that West has some programs. For example, most people don't know that there's a program where you can actually get a 4-year degree up the hill, which is not common for community college. Having said all that, if I'm a business, so whether I'm in the sector that you mentioned of manufacturing, biomedical, tech, and IT, or I'm not, what is the next steps? How do I go from hearing this information now to seeing if it's something that would be a fit for our company?
Well, the easiest way would just be to schedule a conversation. That would be just because there's not a one size fits all. We would definitely want to hear from you what your company needs are, and how then we can assess where West LA College can step in and help you meet those needs. Now, if you already have an idea of what those needs might be and you wanted to do some research before a conversation, you could go to our website and take a look at our different academic programs, because perhaps you are short students of mechanical aptitude and you want to see what engineering and aeronautical programs West LA College has. And you could take a look at, the class titles, the descriptions, and see if any of those class titles and descriptions look like a class that you would want your current employees to take, or if those were you'd want to recruit students from to be your future employees. That could be a place to start, but I'm more than happy to do that legwork for you. If you wanted just to email me, we can have that conversation, and then I can send you a detailed description based on what you're hoping to see if we have.
Okay, so that makes sense. See, there was another question that I had. So if I'm, our viewership is businesses that are of all sizes, and it was nice to hear you mention that the fields that are funded now, manufacturing, biomedical, technology, and IT, it's pretty much the periphery employees that are within those companies in any capacity.
Yep.
So for a company that doesn't know, they know they obviously want to continue to evolve. They don't really have a choice, particularly during this period that we're in with COVID. And they don't know exactly what direction to go with that, but they know that there's going to need to be some training. How in depth of a program, or how in depth of, I guess, hand holding, if you will, is either your department or the college as a whole willing to have? Is this something that as a company I need to come to you and say, I'm looking to go from here to here, and then you put together something? Or can it be even more novice than that, saying, I have employees, I know that we have needs to continue to expand. Maybe I don't know the latest trends in the industry, and I'd like to sit down with somebody to have that discussion and maybe plan out the next, 12 to 24 months for particular cohorts of employees.
Yes, so we can do anything that you just said. And of course, lucky us, we have such a great local chamber to help us with some of those big questions as well. But yes, so it's 100% customized by the employer and based on what the employer needs. So the employer comes to the table and we'll talk and see what those needs are. So there are a number of resources out there. So from the Department of Labor, the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation, to look at some of those labor market trends, and then to see the skill sets based on the industry. So the technical steps of how it typically works is you would share your job descriptions based on what you're hoping to hire, or a skill set of where you're hoping an employee would go. And then West LA College can do all of the technical paperwork to put that together and show you what that training program could look like. Now, you may have an idea of what that training program looks like too, so we would work together to make sure it fits your needs. But we, as West LA College, are more than happy to put together a draft for your edits and reviews. If you have an idea, you could put it together. But to answer your question in short, West LA College will do all the work. All you have to do is tell us what your needs are, and then we can step in and do our best to try to meet them.
That sounds good. So I appreciate your being on today and, being able to address these questions. And I'd always like to end with a call to action. So if there was something that you wanted to tell those that are listening, whether it's, finding more information, contacting you, what would be your call to action to our audience?
My call to action would be, these are unprecedented times. This global pandemic, the recent surge in the unemployment rates. I'm not sure how everyone's being affected by what's going on, but I would encourage anyone who's looking to see if your company needs any resources or support to please reach out to me. Tiffany Miller. My email address is millerts@wlac.edu. It's worth a conversation to see if we have any resources that might be able to help you. We're very fortunate in the state of California. We have over 100 community colleges at a very affordable rate. Whether we can partner or not, I would love to tell you about the resources that we have, because it may be able to help you.
And I appreciate that. So don't want to keep you too long. I appreciate the time that you've carved out for us already. I would add to that call to action, you kind of hit the nail on the head. That we're in a lot of chaotic times now, and the future is a little bit uncertain as far as direction. There's an underlying point as far as employee retention, that when you do things for your employee to help them advance or to hone in on skills, statistically they tend to stay with your company more often. So from a workforce development standpoint, it would make sense at the very least to have the conversation, and we'll make sure to put your email at the end of our chamber chat so people can connect with you. But I'd like to thank you for carving out time to be on with us today, and look forward to continue to work with West and more specifically with your department. So Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the warm welcome to Culver City.
Of course.